Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi has presented proposals to US President Donald Trump to end the Iran-US war, the approval of which may lead to a permanent ceasefire between the two countries. And with the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, prospects for the recovery of the global economy appear to be gaining momentum. It is also necessary to say here that this matter of proposals from Iran is the result of Pakistan's backchannel diplomacy, due to which at no stage did it appear that both countries were standing in a dead end and that war remained the only solution, as was felt before Pakistan's facilitation and mediation, which not only brought two nations that had not tolerated each other for 47 years to the same negotiating table, but also paved the way for a ceasefire. Iranian Foreign Minister says that Iran and Oman, as coastal countries of the Strait of Hormuz, an important waterway of the Arabian Sea, have agreed to continue consultations at the expert level to ensure safe passage in this strategic corridor and protection of shared interests. According to him, the talks held in Islamabad were extremely fruitful and highly constructive, in which the specific conditions under which the process of negotiations between Iran and the United States could resume were reviewed. US President Donald Trump, by keeping the door open for contact with Iran at any time, has made it clear that the United States also maintains an inclination to pursue a ceasefire, and when he was asked whether he would restart the war, he replied in the negative. It is also worth mentioning that when attempts are made to pressure the Iranian nation through rhetoric, it does not capitulate to it, and I am confident that even if the United States does not realize this, it is being made to acknowledge it through diplomatic efforts. According to President Trump, Washington's position is clear that Iran cannot be allowed to obtain nuclear weapons under any circumstances. However, he is not in favor of completely closing the doors of negotiations. He also said that, despite the recent attack at a media dinner in Washington, his focus would remain on the ongoing dispute with Iran, and this incident would not change his war stance. Russian representative to international organizations in Vienna has also said that if negotiations between Iran and the United States are to move forward, the United States will have to abandon its threatening attitude and ultimatum policy. If both countries simultaneously reopen the Strait of Hormuz, the path toward a ceasefire could be further reinforced. And it is also necessary to mention here that when US Vice President J.D. Vance gave a statement after talks in Islamabad, he said that in the 21-hour long negotiations, consensus could not be reached on only one point, which relates to Iran's nuclear enrichment. The Iranian foreign minister's visit to Russia is also quite significant because Russia is a good friend of Iran and has continued to assist it. Among the weapons Iran possesses, apart from China, Russia's role cannot be ignored. Russia has also helped Iran in nuclear matters, while Iran does not trust the International Atomic Energy Agency because US influence over it is no secret. On the other hand, the situation in Lebanon has further escalated, where at least 14 people were killed in Israeli airstrikes on Sunday, including two women and two children, while 37 people were injured. According to the Lebanese Ministry of Health, the strikes were carried out in southern Lebanon, while the state news agency reported that on Monday morning, Israeli forces conducted a raid at the entrance of Kafra and also closed the main road leading to the town. Overall, on the 59th day of the war, the situation indicates that on one hand, diplomatic routes are being sought through Iran, Russia, Oman, and Pakistan, while on the other hand, fundamental differences between the United States and Iran persist, particularly on sensitive issues such as the nuclear program and the Strait of Hormuz. However, increasing diplomatic activity at the regional and global level is creating the possibility that if all parties show flexibility, the region could move out of a major and prolonged crisis towards some framework in which not only Iran and the United States but also Gulf countries and other regional powers could move toward a mutually agreed solution. It appears that there is considerable pressure on the American leadership as well to end the war with Iran, while Israel is making every effort to prevent ceasefire arrangements from moving forward and somehow restart the war. However, US President Donald Trump is in favor of a ceasefire because he knows that if the war continues, there is a strong possibility that he may lose the elections in November. And if that happens, there is also a risk of the 25th Amendment being applied and impeachment of the president. Realizing these potential problems, the US president has kept the doors open for a ceasefire, while the world cannot afford a prolonged closure of the Strait of Hormuz because with each passing day, the fears of inflation, recession, and economic devastation are increasing. Therefore, it is necessary that both countries resolve this issue definitively at the negotiating table before it is too late.